We're going to continue our discussion of primary sequence determination for proteins with an exam problem from Fall 21, Test 4. We have to figure out a 12-carbon polypeptide, small protein. Here are the 12 amino acids listed alphabetically. The 2's just means there's 2 alas and 2 mets. There's one test I didn't tell you about last day when we did our test. We did trypsin and chymotrypsin. We didn't talk about cyanogen bromide. CNBR clips C-terminal of met residues. What's residue mean? It means you've got amino acids in a sequence. Each one of those units is a residue. Okay? So here we have 2 alanine residues in this sequence. We have a arginine residue. So we got a couple mets. Careful. Glyn is first. Yay, we got a point. Just write this on your test. You got a point. Done. Okay. And stop. Makes grading easier. No, I'm not telling you to do that. Hey, I know the first 3. I'm going to get 3 points in 10 seconds or 2 seconds. Glenn is before Ala and Met is at the end. From our new information that I just told you, this looks silly. It's already listed at the end. That's only because it's alphabetical. It's really at the end in terms of the sequence, because this sentence says so. Cyanogen bromide clips the C-terminal of Met residues. So we're going to go Glen, Ala, Met. I got 3 points. I'm only grading the sequence at the end. That's all. That's all I'm grading. Okay, and there's another Met is at the end of this. And this whole deal is the C-terminal. You know how I know? The whole deal is the C-terminal because Glen is in the N-terminal, C-terminal. And if you forgot, C-terminal is at the right, N-terminal is at the left. How do you memorize that? They're not alphabetical. How about N is an amine with an A, and a C is a carboxylic acid with a C? Now they're alphabetical. There you go. Amino versus carboxyl. All right, and nothing more can be gleaned from the cyanogen bromide experiment. But we can break down the N-terminal, the one with Ala in it. Oh, we've got our first 5. What's at the end of this sequence, knowing that it was created using the enzyme chymotrypsin, which cleaves the C-terminal of phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan, the ones with benzene in them. It tells us, do I see any of those here? Do I see Ala. Chymotrypsin puts lice at the end, doesn't it? Oh, chymotrypsin, no, it puts, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do we have a problem? I made a mistake. I should have looked at the answer key and see if there was a problem. Because there should be one of the phenylalanines. Am I just not seeing it? I don't see it here. No tryptophan in there. And no tyrosine. It's impossible to have, oh no, there's no Glen here. Sorry. This is the C-terminal. I'm going to make a bad thing into a good thing. There's no phenylalanine, tryptophan, or tyrosine in that unit. That means this had to be at the very end of the sequence because nothing after it got clipped. This is the C-terminal, so it's a little more descriptive about the C terminal. It breaks it down to 5 instead of what, 10 or 9? When I got excited, I was really thinking about this, having terp at the end. How do I know terp's at the end? Because it's listed there? No, guys, it's alphabetical. That's why it's at the end there. It's at the end in reality because C terminal of terp got clipped. So now we know it's terp. And what's the only thing in this list that's not here so far? Because it goes before terp. Alla, no. Glyn, no. Met, no. Sir. You got 5 out of 12, everybody. 5 out of 12. Okay. And for pro has to go here. You know how I know? It's either foot pro, this is just random, foot pro or pro foot. These two. How do you know it has to be there? Why? Hey guys, it has to have foot at the end, doesn't it? This was silly. That's what chymotrypsin means. In this thing, the foot was at the end. And it has to be in the middle because the C terminal has all this junk in it, which means it also has all this junk in it that didn't have any F, tier, or terp. And so now our only job is to figure out what's the order of these 5 at the end. We got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How does met get by itself in the trypsin? Interesting. Trypsin puts lyse or arg at the end. And I did not do a good job of alphabetizing this thing here. I suspect there's a lot of clues in this mistake. I didn't alphabetize that fragment. Wow. It's got the answer in it. Good verification. I forgot to alphabetize it. I got caught by myself. So, I mean, we're verifying our work, aren't we? Glyn, Alla, Met, Sir, Terp, Profa, and Sir, Alla, Arg is probably the answer, isn't it? And then Met. That's not a good way to solve problems. Sir, Alla, Arg. Lonely Met. Let's figure out why that has to be right anyway. At the end of this big chunk, we got to have the arch. That's why it's there. The only way met gets at the end and it doesn't have a lyse or an arg in it. No lyse, no arg. Therefore, at end. Okay. We use the same logic for the chymotrypsin, but you got to use no F, terp, tier, therefore end. And I'll put the therefore here. Okay, that's cyanogen bromide. That's not there. This was the therefore. There's the therefore. Talking about chymotrypsin. Therefore, this is at the end. I mentioned it earlier in words, but I did not formalize it. But we still haven't figured out why it's Sir, Alla, Arg. Well, we know the arg has to be at the end. So we're down to why is it Sir, Alla, and not Alla, Sir? And I don't believe we'll be able to answer that question because we have no way of, there's no cuts for Alla or Sir to tell us which is right and which is wrong. But somebody might have the answer for me. No, somebody had a question for me, I saw a hand. It's all brand new. A lot of you are just saying, what is he doing? This is understandable. If you haven't studied this at all, that's exactly what you're saying, because that's what you should be saying. But when you get into it, and I've done a lot of these, and there are a lot of them, every exam has one. And do them all, you get good at it. You got a question there?
You were missing the light at the end of that.
Oh, did I forget one of the residues? Lice at the end of
On the trypsin line.
the trypsin line.
A light by itself.
Oh, I forgot all about him. That's good. Lice all by itself. Yeah, I only have 11 in my sequence, don't I? How do you get lice by itself in a trip? Let's follow our logic here. If there's no lice or no ARGs, then it has to be at the very end, but that is a lice. So how did it get by itself? Well, it was either lice followed by ARG, or lice followed by lice is the only way to get a lice by itself ever. Well, we don't have the possibility of lice because there's only one lice in my molecule. And we have a lice ARG in our structure. No, because I forgot to put it there. It goes right. Is there a lice in here? No, it's by itself. ARG. Would ARG lice give lice by itself? Wait a minute. ARG lice. I think I misspoke. That's going to clip whatever's there, and ARG gets clipped there too. That's how you do it. So whatever's here gets clipped, and whatever's here gets clipped, and you get lice by itself. There's the two ways to get lice by itself. There's ARG lice or lice lice. Forget about lice ARG. Lice won't be by itself. Lice will be with whatever was previous to it here. So this was just a misstatement. And now I know where to put the lice. It has to be after the ARG. That's the only way for it to get it by itself. Oops, that was met. What did I ever just erase? Was it the met? Yeah, it has to be at the end, met. And we got our 12. And on the answer key, I'm pretty sure it says, I will accept Sir Allah or Allah Sir, and either one gets 12 out of 12. And if you look for all 21 answer key. And there you go. And there's videos for a couple of these, I think, at least, that are solved. And I'm going to give you one for the weekend from Winter 15. And we'll do it on review day if you want me to. Or we'll do one you want me to do instead. Okay? That's up to you. So that's how I'll leave you. Get triple credit for that one.